Sulaiman Osman, an ordinary boy from an ordinary family, was born in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia, on the 19th of February 1937. He grew up during the difficult years of the Second World War. He knew firsthand the meaning of not having enough food to eat for one big family of 11, besides his parents, which later became 13. His big family taught him the importance of getting along with others and not to be selfish. On the 22nd of February 1954, his world was transformed when he gained admission into the prestigious Malay College, Kuala Kangsar. From there, he went to the University of Malaya, then in Singapore, and earned a degree in liberal arts. With that degree, he became a civil servant in Malaysia from 1960 until the 18th of February 1992, serving at the district, state, and federal levels. In his official and unofficial capacities, he walked side by side with the very poor, ordinary farmers, tycoons, senior civil servants, ministers, prime ministers, and sultans. At the age of 30, as a district officer, and without any directive from the government, he carried out a project to motivate the rice farmers in the district. The project was a big success. It caught the attention of the nation's leaders. That was a watershed year in his life. For the next 40 years, while still in government and after his retirement, he became obsessed with the idea of motivating people. Today, he believes that although one man, he can make a positive difference to the world by getting as many people as possible in the world to actualize more of their God-given potentialities. He believes that he can transcend country, race, religion, gender, and age. He considers this Herculean task as a calling from God. He knows that God will be with him all the way. To Sulaiman, it is better to try and fail than to even fail to try. What is important is the intention. Lim Kok Wing University of Creative Technology is pleased to promote Professor Sulaiman Osman, its Deputy Chairman of the Governing Council for the last 16 years, as the Global Motivator.
Yang amat berbahagia Tun Ahmad Saji Abdul Hamid, yang amat berbahagia Tuan Hajar Sagia Salikin, yang berbahagia Profesor Dato Sulaiman Osman and Datin Novia, the Excellencies, High Commissioners and Ambassadors, friends and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It has been said that the true value of a man is never measured by the wealth that he has gathered, but the good he has done for the benefits of others. I can think of no one who measures up to this definition better than my dear friend Dato Sulaiman Osman. I know of no one who is more passionate about helping people. I know of no one who is more committed, more devoted, and more selfless in empowering others to get ahead in life. And I know of no one who is more humble, more sincere, and more dependable than Dato Sulaiman. He has always been involved in social work. He's always been a passionate person. So strong is he in his convictions that his passion to motivate others has transformed has been transformed into an obsession. There is nothing he wants to do more than lifting up others. He has the energy to move large crowds of people as much as he has the ability to connect, to bring out the best in people. He has a God-given gift in his ability to inspire society. It is hard to measure how much he has already done for this country. Yet, he has remained a very humble man, a very simple man, a very sincere person. In this man, you'll find a heart of gold. This is a person that I have known for a very long time. Dato Sulaiman and I have been working together and walking together side by side for some 35 years now. God willing, we shall continue to walk together for the next 35 years. I have been inspired by him. I think it is fitting that I take this opportunity to thank him on behalf of all who have become wiser just from knowing him and stronger just from listening to him. And on that note, I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Dr. Lim Kok Weng, for your kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned just now, I'm passionately interested in motivation. This is because I feel that so much can be done in this area to improve the quality of life of millions of people in the world at very minimal cost. There are so many countries in the world today with practically no natural resources, but have already achieved developed country status. This is because they had placed emphasis on human capital development for so many years now. This is what can be done by practically all developing countries today, especially those where there are already ample opportunities being provided for people to climb up the social and economic ladder. As a motivator, I firmly believe that there are millions of people in the world who are under-living their lives. They do that not necessarily because they were born into poverty and had no opportunities to do well in life. Many were given opportunities and were encouraged to do well in life, but they were never given a thorough briefing about life, on why they are what they are today and who they should be as intended by the Creator. My basis of saying this is, I have a book entitled The 3-Pound Universe. In the book, there is a picture of a man holding a model of a human brain in his left palm. Below the picture, there is a caption which says, the 3-pound or 1.4 kilograms universe. You can hold it in the palm of your hand, but a computer with the same number of bits would be 100 stories tall and cover the state of Texas. Texas is equivalent to 5.3 times the size of England. You can verify this fact about the tremendous capacity of the human brain from the internet or from any well-stocked library in the world. I believe that when God has given each one of us such a fantastic brain, He must have meant us to be fantastic. But why are we not fantastic? To me, it is a great tragedy that so many people have lived and have since died, not knowing that they could have made a big difference to their lives if they had been given a briefing on the dynamics of life by someone before, especially when they were young. Because of that, they were contented to live as mediocre people. Their lives were, if not wasted, non-fulfilled. They were not handicapped physically, as we know the term very well, but they were handicapped psychologically and emotionally. Perhaps a more appropriate term to describe them is that they were mind-handicapped. Alas, no one came forward to de-mind-handicap them, that is to remove the handicap of the mind, especially when they were still young. What I do is I would try to convince them that they have tremendous potentialities which they have not brought out yet, and that they would be the loser if they don't bring out those potentialities. Perhaps they do not see themselves as fantastic because of the evaluation of society, which includes their parents, relatives, peer group, teachers, the National Examinations Board, and the mass media. Society can only judge them by their academic or paper qualifications and the results of the various public examinations they have taken so far. Society can only judge them by their present situation in life, their present strengths and weaknesses, and by what they've been able to do. But society can never judge them by their potentialities. Society can never see their greater and more capable selves unless and until they themselves bring out those parts themselves. To me, this is a great tragedy. That is the fact that people's self-esteem and what and who they think they are, and believe what they can do and cannot do, are very much influenced by how they think society evaluates them and expect them to behave. The fact that God meant them to be fantastic individuals in the first place is never in their calculation. Another reason why it is a great tragedy is that people never pause to think that the reason society does not think much of them has a lot to do with their past, the socio-economic and psychological environment they came from. Such an environment was completely out of their control to determine. If such an environment had been more supportive and psychologically uplifting with lots of opportunities, they would be different individuals today. The sad fact of life is we are all products of our past. So I hope to convince them that no matter what the circumstances of their families are or were, and the socio-economic and psychological environment they grew up in, they can rise above all that. They can make a big difference in their lives because they now know that the Creator wants them to be bigger and more effective persons than what they are today. So I would try to my utmost to convince them that inside each and every one of them there is a greater and more capable person, and that only they and they only can bring out that person. And the process of wanting to do that can start immediately after they've heard my lecture. I would tell them at the end of the lecture that from now on they should put aside, for the time being at least, what they think society, including their parents unfortunately, think of them. Instead, they should take a personal and full responsibility to bring out their greater selves. How do I do this? I use the methodology of visual impact, associative imagery, and monodrama. For example, I would bring 3 balloons, red, yellow, and green, each with a different meaning associated with the traffic lights. Every time they see the traffic lights, they should remember the balloons. and what they have to do to actualize their potential. I also use various kinds of props. The purpose of all the props that I would use is nothing else but to leave lasting impressions or images in the minds of my audience. The props serve as memory triggers. If they deliberately and consciously picture the props in their minds or associate those objects, for example the traffic lights, with the message of the lecture, just for 1 month, continuously, then they can easily remember the lecture for the rest of their lives. What then is the bottom line message of my lecture? It is this. Number one, that what people are today is not all of them. There's a greater and more capable person inside them. Two, that they owe it to themselves to bring out the greater and more capable person inside each one of them. This is for the sake of their own future happiness and prosperity, and also of the happiness and prosperity of their children and children's children.
Three, that since they cannot grow any younger, they might as well make the most of their life on earth by bringing out as much of their latent talents, abilities, capabilities, and personal positive qualities, which they now know do exist inside them. Never mind how society is going to judge all these at first. These qualities are their self-belief, self-confidence, willingness to work hard, and a burning desire and a burning drive to succeed.
Four, that from now on they have to ask themselves how they are going to live as effective and fulfilling lives as possible. Five, that to achieve the last mentioned point, they must identify the opportunities present in their environment and equip themselves with the necessary knowledge, skills, experience, and the correct positive attitude. At 71 now, with 3 married children and 7 grandchildren, and having a passionate interest in motivation, and studying it for so long now, and having had 16 years of experience as a professional motivator, I believe that I have something to offer to the people of the world. I believe I've developed the know-how to reach out to the hearts and minds of as many people in the world as possible, especially the younger ones, with a view to de-handicapping them before it is too late. That is when they are already too comfortable with the status quo of their lives. There are 3 possible titles for my lecture, regardless of the target groups. 1, de-handicapping as many people in the world as possible with a view to making them want to live more effective lives. 2, your life, your responsibility. 3, bringing out your potential.